Hola, en esta lección vamos a hablar acerca de cómo formar los mandatos negativos en la segunda persona singular. Before watching this video, you might watch the previous two videos on affirmative to commands. In the following, I'm going to show you some pictures and some commands to go along with them. Determine if each affirmative to command is buena idea o mala idea. Pause the video if you need more time, and check the word bank if you aren't sure about a word. Roba de la tienda. Mala idea. Piensa en matar. Mala idea. Saca una foto del perrito. Buena idea. Toca la estufa cuando está caliente. Mala idea. Conduce en la dirección opuesta. Mala idea. Cepíllate los dientes. Buena idea. Afeítate con un machete. Mala idea. Sé malo. Mala idea. Dile malas palabras. Mala idea. Mándale mensajes de texto a tu amigo. Buena idea. Duerme debajo de la camioneta. Mala idea. Juega béisbol en la casa. Mala idea. Ponte los zapatos en las manos. Mala idea. Enciende las cortinas. Mala idea. Toma más de uno. Mala idea. Wait a minute. Quite a few of those were a bad idea. Maybe instead of telling somebody to do those things, we would rather have told them to not do those things. We would need to know how to make negative to commands though. I'm going to go ahead and change each one that was mala idea into a negative to command. Pay attention to the endings on most of them. No robes de la tienda. No pienses en matar. No toques la estufa cuando está caliente. No conduzcas en la dirección opuesta. No te afeites con un machete. No seas malo. No le digas malas palabras. No duermas debajo de la camioneta. No juegues béisbol en la casa. No te pongas los zapatos en las manos. No enciendas las cortinas. No tomes más de uno. Okay, Now, we're going to go ahead and bring up the affirmative 2 commands and the negative ones. Can you figure out the general rule for forming negative 2 commands? I'll give you a few seconds, but pause the video if you need more time. Did you get it? Are they the same as the affirmative 2 commands? Not at all. They're actually kind of like the to form in the present tense. Well, a few of them are at least. Here's a general formula for most verbs. We'll take the verb in the yo form in the present tense minus the o ending plus, for AR verbs, we'll add an es to the end. Por ejemplo, no bailes, no tomes, no te levantes. Notice that we don't attach the reflexive pronoun te like we do for the affirmative 2 commands. Instead, it's going to have to go before the verb phrase, like it usually does. And for ER and IR verbs, we'll add AS to the end. Por ejemplo, no comas, no escribas. If there's a change in the spelling in the yo form of the present tense, it will also have the same spelling change in the negative 2 command. Por ejemplo, for some AR verbs, no pienses, no recuerdes. So we see the stem change. For ER verbs, no vuelvas, no pongas. So you see that the G in pongo I put is going to be as well in this negative 2 command. Don't put, no pongas. And some IR verbs, no digas, no conduzcas, no salgas. So all 3 of those have a spelling change in the yo form, and in this negative 2 command, it's going to be the same spelling change with an AS on the end. We're also going to find that some verbs ending in CAR, GAR, and ZAR, like they had the preterite, these are going to also have a spelling change. If it ends in CAR, it'll end in QUES. If it ends in GAR, it'll end in GUES. If it ends in ZAR, it'll change to CES. Por ejemplo, some verbs ending in CAR, the commands would be no saques, no toques. And we change this to preserve the hard k sound, because C before E would make a S sound. Some verbs that end in GAR, no juegues, no llegues. And we're going to change it to GUES to preserve the hard G sound, because G before E makes a H sound. And finally, some verbs that end in ZAR, no abraces, no empieces. And this one actually isn't for pronunciation purposes, but in Spanish, the Z gets shy whenever it comes after a vowel and before an E, and it changes to a C. And there are also, of course, some irregulars. Some of the more common irregular negative 2 commands are dar to give, no des, don't give, estar, no estés, don't be, ir, no vayas, don't go, and ser, no seas, don't be. It might seem really complicated, but it's not too bad. And the more you practice or come across these, the easier it gets. So let's go ahead and practice some more. Now I'm going to give you some pictures and a few different negative 2 commands. See if you can match the picture to the correct negative 2 command. Pause the video if you need more time, and check the word bank if you aren't sure about a word. No le cortes el pelo a tu hermana. No fumes la pipa en la clase. No comas al perrito. No distraigas a los otros estudiantes. No te enojes. No llores o no estés triste. No le copies a un compañero. No golpees a la pared. No duermas en la clase. No entres en el baño de las chicas. No mires directamente hacia el sol. No molestes a tu compañero. No bebas del inodoro. Muy bien. Let's try one more thing. How about I give you the affirmative to command, both regular and irregular, and you try to change it to the negative to command. Then, see if you can translate the negative to command into English. Pause the video if you need more time, and check the word bank if you aren't sure about a word. Baila. No bailes. Don't dance. Come todos los dulces. No comas todos los dulces. Don't eat all the candy. Toca la guitarra. No toques la guitarra. Don't play the guitar. Remember the spelling change for verbs that end in car to preserve the k sound. Lee ese libro. No leas ese libro. Don't read that book. Juega con aquel niño. No juegues con aquel niño. Don't play with that kid. Remember the spelling change for verbs that end in gar to preserve the g sound. Sube el volumen de la radio. No subas el volumen de la radio. Don't turn up the volume of the radio. Llora. No llores. Don't cry. Diles la respuesta. No les digas la respuesta. Don't tell them the answer. Notice in this one we have the indirect object les, to them, and we will not attach to the end of these negative to commands. They'll go in the front of the verb phrase. Ve a la tienda. No vayas a la tienda. Don't go to the store. And remember that ir is irregular, so no vayas would be don't go. Pon la leche en el baño. No pongas la leche en el baño. Don't put the milk in the bathroom. Mira la televisión mucho. No mires la televisión mucho. Don't watch a lot of TV. Escribe en tus manos. No escribas en tus manos. Don't write on your hands. Huele el perro. No huelas el perro. Don't smell the dog. Sé débil. No seas débil. Don't be weak. And remember that ser is irregular, so no seas would be don't be. Levántate a las 4. No te levantes a las 4. Don't get up at 4. Ten miedo. No tengas miedo. Don't be afraid. Literally, don't have fear. Dale comida al oso. No le des comida al oso. Don't give food to the bear. And remember that dar is irregular, so no des would be don't give. Muy bien. Let me know if you have any questions or comments about this video, and feel free to write your own negative to commands in the comments section below. Gracias por mirar y nos vemos.